And new overnight, CU Boulder police are investigating after somebody tried to steal a bike, then threatened a person with a hammer. They say this happened after 11 last night at the Marine Court Apartments, which are graduate and family housing. Police say they are still looking for a suspect.
This morning, it's been a week since someone shot and killed a 15-year-old boy in Denver, and police are still looking for the shooter. It happened last Wednesday night near the corner of 31st and Downing. Police say Edward Armillo Presicato was on a date with his girlfriend when someone shot him 8 times. Edward's aunt tells us he shielded his girlfriend and sister, who was also with them at the time. He died on Saturday. Edward's family says they just want to know why this happened.
When your loved one has been hurt and you don't know what's happening or who did this, all these questions, it's painful not to know. It's very painful.
So tragic. Edward's girlfriend was shot in the foot, but she is now out of the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call Denver police.
City leaders in Aurora are trying to stop catalytic converter thefts by tracking sales to scrap metal yards. Right now, state law only requires that scrap metal buyers keep records of the purchases. They don't have to be submitted to a centralized system. But Aurora's plan is supposed to make it easier to track and detect stolen converters because it'll include information about the person selling that converter.
The employee at the salvage yard would be required to collect name, phone number, address, and driver's license information. That information would be put into an online system, the leads reporting system, and would make it trackable and traceable for police later on if that catalytic converter was reported as stolen.
From 2019 to 2020, thefts more than tripled. As of mid-July, the Aurora City Council says about 400 converters had been stolen in the city so far this year. Well, President Biden should arrive in Colorado sometime after 11 this morning and then designate this spot, World War II training ground in Eagle County, as a new national monument.
Camp Hale was used in the 1940s to train the elite 10th Mountain Division before they fought in the Italian Alps during World War II. Matt Renew is live at the Eagle County Airport this morning, where the president will be landing today. And Matt, with this new designation, there's more interest in the history of Camp Hale and the 10th Mountain Division at a museum in Vail.
There is, Corey and Gary. Good morning. A lot of attention. They're probably going to get a lot more attention with President Biden scheduled to arrive in Eagle County later today and then head to Camp Hale, where he's expected to designate that area as a national monument, something that at the Colorado Snow Sports Museum is creating a lot of new interest in the history of Camp Hale and the legendary 10th Mountain Division.
Whenever I get the opportunity, whenever I see one of the 10th vets.
At the Colorado Snow Sports Museum in Vail,
15,000 people lived up at Camp Hale at one point.
Executive Director Jennifer Mason says they've got the largest display
It's so cool.
of 10th Mountain Division history around.
More artifacts on display than any other museum on the 10th Mountain Division right now in the country.
And that history is getting bigger, with President Biden scheduled to visit Camp Hale to designate the World War II training ground as a national monument, something that's got more people and press coming to see the museum.
This will make it more national news, and our audience will become broader for sure.
For their sacrifice.
Learning about this 1940s military camp for elite skiing soldiers of the 10th Mountain Division who fought in the Italian Alps during World War II.
And then their impacts on the ski industry and the outdoor industry.
A legacy that Jennifer says is now ready for its next chapter in Camp Hale's Colorado history.
This will secure its future for generations to come.
So much history for Colorado. President Biden, again, will arrive here in Eagle County later on today and then make that trip to Camp Hale, where they'll have a small celebration for the designation of a national monument. For those who can't make it up there, they're also planning a celebration of their own in Vail at Donovan Pavilion. That will be at 4:30. Gary, Corey, of course, will be out here all afternoon at the networks at 9 News, updating everything as it happens throughout the day.
This is a big deal for a lot of those veterans.
It is a big deal. You know, a lot of those veterans aren't with us anymore, and that's becoming more and more true as time goes on. But they've been trying to get this designation for a really long time, Matt.
You're right, Gary. This has been something in the works for about 20 years and then really has started picking up some steam in the last several months. And so a lot of people pretty excited to see this, especially for those veterans that were so important to the history of Colorado, the start of our Colorado ski seasons, all the ski areas that they created, almost 60. And so this is a big deal for Colorado. It's a huge industry. It's a great history. And it will be a historic moment when that becomes a national monument.
Absolutely. All right. Be looking forward to your coverage today. Thanks, Matt.